right? So what 50 did, whether the world want to respect it or not, right? He cleaned BMF up, revamped it, breathed life into it, and exposed it on a platform that was a trillion times greater than what Big Meech did.
Cuffy come from St. Louis, man. He gave Meech them $1 million. He helped start BMF. He owned the name of BMF, and they stole that name from him, and they snitched on him and sent him to jail. Right? So Meech out, so he need to really make good with that. He need to go get Cuffy. I mean, listen, it's like if you rich and you got power, you can't be a snitch. Meech a snitch. Everybody know Meech a snitch.
Now, everybody was saying JayZ was taking a shot at you.
And I didn't take it that way, because if we looked at all of the numbers, you see I did his career in 4 years.
I heard you say that before.
In 4 years. So you can't, I wouldn't say that. I mean, the largest selling album he's had internationally sold 430,000 copies. I was not right. I sold 5 million twice. So when we leave here, you know who's who.
The explosive feud between 50 Cent and Big Meech has hit a fever pitch, with fresh allegations, old grudges, and shocking revelations threatening to unravel hidden secrets within the hip-hop world. What started as a simple photo op has evolved into a chaotic clash of titans, with JayZ now stepping in to defuse the situation before it spirals further out of control. Big Meech, known for his role as the co-founder of the Black Mafia family, recently posted a picture alongside Rick Ross, setting the stage for a brutal fallout with 50 Cent. While a photograph might seem harmless to most, this was a clear act of betrayal to 50 Cent. The bad blood between 50 Cent and Rick Ross is well documented, stretching back to 2008. The feud may have cooled off over the years, but anyone who knows 50 Cent understands that he never truly forgives or forgets.
We got to continue on with the 50 Cent analysis. And by the way, when I was a massive 50 Cent fan in 2002, or even earlier than that, is when I really got consumed with the G-Unit revolution, much like the rest of America. Never did I expect that 20 years later I would be helming a very important hip-hop podcast and still talking about 50 Cent as if he was still just as relevant as ever.
Well, he's crossed over.
Yeah.
He's in TV land. I see him all where he's posting his liquor. He's doing his thing. I even know this game. Look, that 50 Cent Meech he did.
Yeah.
Game even had to respond to that.
Yeah.
Laugh, and he like, yo, did he really tell this dude what next season? Ninja?
I mean, okay, so let's do a little bit of analysis about that. So basically, wait, I don't know if we have the link to the thing about, okay. So basically, Rick Ross and Big Meech do an Instagram video together because Big Meech is doing this big concert, and I believe he was probably trying to create more interest in it. And so then 50 gets upset about that. Did 50 post anything, or did he just kind of unfollow Lil Meech?
Well, he posted a rat, said they call me Big Meech.
Yes, okay, right here. 50 Cent speaks on Big Meech. Yes, he posted a rat, and he wrote, the biggest mistake, it's probably right here, yeah. The biggest mistake he ever made was not sustaining his relationship with Tammy Cowins. Her tell-all documentary reveals the truth.
So now, everything you've been hearing, guys like Blue Da Vinci, guys like the Exposers, right? I got that paperwork in my phone. Now, she's the third-party cooperator. She's the one that Meech was using to line people up and cooperate with the feds.
Okay.
Right?
So this woman right here that Vlad interviewed 2 years ago.
That's Tanisha. That ain't her.
Oh, that's not Tammy. Okay, I was searching
Tammy's
Tammy.
fair
so
skin.
this is somebody else.
Yeah, just a picture of her up. 50 Cent leaked a phone call.
Okay.
It's a phone call up.
Tammy.
50 and Tammy, phone call.
Do we have a picture of her?
It's definitely the cover. That's
this is her. Okay. She's looking a little lumpy, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, no, I don't think that's her right there. I think her.
You sure this isn't her?
No, that's her, but to the left, that was probably.
Oh, that one? Okay.
Yeah, that's probably more like her right now. Yeah. All right. Let's do her some justice, even though she's a cooperator.
Okay. Tammy Cowins. Whatever.
So, yeah, she's the third party cooperator.
Okay.
So what 50's gonna do is like a surviving, how they did Surviving R. Kelly. He's gonna sit her down. Now, I'm gonna tell you what people are not thinking about. Yeah, we're gonna hear the Cuffy details. Shout out Cuffy, shout out to the Lou, bro, doing 27, right? But what's going to get scary is when she start to spill the beans on all the other stuff nobody knew, and you got a dude sitting in the feds, right, saying, what the f***? That's how that happened? Because there's a lot of people that got this cooperant one or whatever the hell, right, they got in their paperwork, and they don't know who it is, so they took a deal, right? So when she sits there and talks about all these other situations that none of us knew about, but that person that's in jail or man just got out from doing 10 or 15 knows that's them, that's when it's gonna get spooky.
Okay.
Right then is when it's gonna get spooky.
So wait, you tell me if this is accurate. 50 Cent created this extremely popular TV series about BMF. It did very, very well. And then he decided to put out a documentary exposing Big Meech after multiple seasons of that show. And he did so just because Big Meech did this video with Rick Ross and got cool with Rick Ross. So this is a new decision, is that he's going to put out
brand new.
Wow.
See, this is how this works, right?
Yeah.
You hear us talk about it all the time, the exposers. Our war chest. Shout out Beast. He oversees our war chest, right? Shout out to the Crash House Squad. We have a lot of stuff on people, right? But we don't, if they ain't doing nothing to us, we not tripping.
Okay.
Right? So what 50 did, whether the world want to respect it or not, right? He cleaned BMF up, revamped it, breathed life into it, and exposed it on a platform that was a trillion times greater than what Big Meech did. But
Big Meech did, but this time, 50 Cent didn't just throw around baseless accusations, he came armed with receipts. He accused Big Meech of being a rat and provided a bombshell twist by introducing Tammy Cowins into the narrative. Cowins, once a trusted associate of BMF, allegedly became an FBI informant. According to 50, Cowins helped Meech snitch on his longtime friend, Cuffy, who played a crucial role in building BMF from the ground up.
50 Cent calls Big Meech a rat days after Rick Ross and Big Meech posted.
Yeah, you're great. So, like, if you can pull up that paperwork, John.
Does that make me a rat for sitting next to Flacco?
Yeah. So, the first post says, is a rat with a long tail. It says, I think I'm Big Meech. And then the caption says, the biggest mistake he ever made was not sustaining his relationship with Tammy Cowins. Her tell-all docu reveals the truth. So Tammy Cowins, if you guys don't know, she's the lady that was essentially like Big Meech's like all-around person, right? Like she handled like his paperwork, his deals behind prison. She handled everything, right? No, that she was also his power of attorney.
She has his life rights.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Like she was his everything, right? So what happened was there's this St. Louis kingpin called Cuffy. Cuffy and another Hispanic brother was behind bars. No, they was free. But Big Meech hooked up Cuffy and this Hispanic brother, right? Who sells a lot of dope. So while they were doing their thing, Big Meech says, hey, listen, bring in Tammy in on it and she can represent me, right? So then, according to Cuffy, since when Tammy started getting involved now, the feds picked them up. And when they picked them up now, when they're reading like the court work and like figuring out, okay, like this call was tapped, this person told this, but the only person who was on this call was Tammy, blah, 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 right? So then Cuffy says, okay, if Tammy is the one who told on us, Big Meech was persistent on us doing business with Tammy, then Big Meech is involved. But for the longest though, Tammy never spoke. Now 50 is claiming that Tammy is about to speak and expose it all. So the other like caption is, he also exposed Big Meech that apparently like, according to 50 Cent, the funny is they were saying Lil Baby pulled up on them in a Ferrari truck, pockets full of money, and didn't give them nothing. Lil Baby was 5 when you got indicted. What the F he owe you? That concert for cops and confidential informants. So Lil Baby was supposed to perform at the concert. Like Big Meech's Welcome Home concert. He's no longer performing.
Hey, yo, man,
right? And we know that Lil Baby is somebody who is anti-rap. So it's unclear if he's not performing no more because of this. Now, Josh, there's another audio of 50 Cent and Tammy having a phone call. Wait, no, sorry. Play the other video first.
All right, is it confirmed that Lil Baby's not performing? Because he's still on the flyer.
You sure? Well, then it should. Right, because I think I've seen that though.
I think 50 Cent, all right, 50 Cent tried to throw out there like, is Baby still gonna perform?
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna be consistent with not with Gunna, he's a snitch, then you shouldn't with Lil Big Meech since he's a snitch.
Sure.
But I feel like, oh yeah, you could continue to not give him mine.
Right, so Josh, go to link number 2 and then skip to 1 minute and 19 seconds just for everybody to hear like the story with Cuffy. 1 minute and 19 seconds. Okay.
Because technically, Big Meech served his entire sentence. Well, let me explain. There's a man named Dion Cuffy Gatlin. He's the former head of the St. Louis chapter of BMF and a crucial member of the team. He's currently serving a 27-year sentence for 2 murders and trafficking. He claims that Big Meech is the reason he's behind bars. Cuffy and Meech's relationship go back to the 90s. At one point, Cuffy paid $250,000 for rights to the BMF entertainment arm. That's movies, that's television, and all of that. That's when Cuffy and 50 Cent's relationship started. So the question is, where did everything go wrong? Well, Cuffy claims Meech introduced him to Tammy Cowins, who eventually convinced him to buy 100 kilos of cocaine from a source that Meech recommended. Yeah, Meech was still moving while he was locked up. He alleges that Tammy was an informant and Meech was aware of this, and the deal went south and he was eventually arrested. He alleges that this deal would have got Meech out of jail several years ago, but the evidence from this arrest became inadmissible in court because Tammy was having an affair with the DEA agent Keith Cromer handling the investigation. So the evidence was thrown out. And if that's true, it means that Big Meech set up his brother.
All right, and then 50 Cent and Tammy hopped on the phone call. Now, here's the thing though. For years, we've been hearing it, so nobody really thought of it because like these are like random game makers and random like street dudes. But now, when the woman now, who is apparently the informant, which was in question for years, when she is now speaking to 50 Cent and saying, yeah, I'm just have to tell the truth, man. First play, Josh.
Fortunate, right? Yeah. It really is, but I agree. So, you know, we'll just let it be told when the story gets told. Yeah, and I'm only going to stick to the truth and keep it pushing, right?
That's it. That's all it is.
So after speaking to her, 50 Cent made the post saying, Big Meech, you are being exposed for being a rat soon because Tammy is apparently the FBI informant who's been silent for years now.
Tammy Cowins' name has been circulating in the shadows of the BMF saga for years. Initially, she appeared to be a trusted business associate, even co-producing the BMF series alongside 50 Cent. However, 50 now alleges that she played a double role, serving as an informant and providing critical evidence to law enforcement. It was her cooperation, allegedly encouraged by Big Meech, that led to Cuffy's conviction.
Okay, but at some point, you and Big Meech stopped talking.
Yeah, so we stopped talking. Me and Meech last time talking was 2017, right? So in 2017, we on the phone like normal, regular conversation one night. And then my homeboy that was with me, he was like, Tone Bird, he from BMF too. Tone was like, ask Big Homie what's up with the movie with 50, like what's going on with him from New York. I had to use my New York accent. Yo, what's going on with the 50 Cent movie? So I'm like, oh yo, Meech, what's up with the movie, with the TV show? Like, where y'all at with that? He like, oh man, it almost done. The contract almost done. It almost done. We're gonna be starting. They're gonna be, starting to cast it or whatever, right? He's like, I just gotta wait to holler at Tammy before, you know what I'm saying, I know where we at with that. And Tammy is a government informant. So when he said that, I was like, Tammy, what you mean, Tammy? Like, you ain't heard what's going on with her? And they were like, shit, I heard something, but whatever it is, that ain't got shit to do with me. And he was like, man, I'm gonna hit you back. I'm like, all right, that's the last time I ever talked to him. Next time I ain't even talked to him. Next time my cousin talked to him and said that he was trying to get on the phone with me while I'm getting into it with Lil Meech. Lil Meech came into one of the stores that I was working with, one of the exotic rental stores, to rent a car one time and was talking.
start talking crazy about me. And my son was in there working at the time, too. I'm gonna have my son whoop his ass trying to let the kids lock up. You know what I'm saying? I was mad as a... But, you know, all this just ended up stemming from a whole nother situation that was surrounding Meech that was going on. And
So,
you
wait,
you want to pull up some paperwork? You want me to show you how to pull up some paperwork?
So you're talking about Tammy Cowins, right?
Yeah, Tammy Cowins.
Okay, now...
She's a co-producer of the BMF Stars TV show.
Okay, and you're saying that she's an informant?
Definitely, 100%.
Okay.
She's been an informant since 2009.
Okay, so I'm on the page right now.
Yeah, it's 32 pages or something.
I'm on the first page, and now it says, United States of America versus plaintiff, and it says, Donnie Gatlin, Timothy.
Dion Gatlin. Shout out
Dion
Cuff.
Gatlin.
Shout out Cuff. That's my Cuff. Dion Gatlin. Yeah, he's one of the first defendants. Yeah.
Okay.
St. Louis Project. What's happening?
So, can you kind of break down this paperwork for me and how she's involved in this? And where can I go?
Tammy Cowins is Big Meech personal assistant / business partner / whatever you want to call. You know what I'm saying? Basically, she became the owner of what Meech has as BMF Entertainment, his company from prison. His company, she became the owner of it in 2008, and in 2009, she became a government informant. In 2010, she did a case that was pertaining to a guy that Meech met in prison and one of Meech's homeboys of 26 years.
Okay. Now, in this paperwork, it doesn't actually say her name.
Right, yeah. You'll have to it don't say her name. It say her name on paper on the cover sheet, her actual name. But you know, this is a case, so they're not gonna be saying the witnesses' names in the case. They're gonna call them CS1 or CSOI or something like that, confidential source or whatever. It's confidential, bro. It's not public. That, you know what I'm saying? The snitch on the case is not public. You feel me? Until maybe after the case and the people's put away in prison and they out of government hiding and all that shit, and then you get some paperwork and then you might see it. Outside of that, you got to be tapped in. You got to have that pacer. Got to be able to pull cover sheets and shit like that. But when people read the affidavit, it explains to you exactly who she is. And then when people follow or know, or once you get to understand this situation, then you'll get to see exactly who Tammy Cowins is.
Okay, I'm gonna read a little part of it real quick, man. It says CS1's relationship with Flannery, Suarez, and Gatlin. When CSI became a DA informant, CSI was and had been a longtime associate of Demetrius Flannery. Now, here's where it says CSI1 held Flannery's power of attorney and life rights with creative control. So,
yeah, that means she's the person that got his life right. So she's the person that 50 Cent got the movie from, the TV show from. That's the only way to get it. You can't get it from Meech because he in prison, so he can't DBA. He can't do business from prison. He's in jail. So he has to sign his rights to do his life story or do whatever he gonna do in his name over to somebody else. And Tammy Cowins is the person that was appointed to do all of that business. And she's the one that got the deal with 50.
Cuffy might not ring a bell to all, but in the BMF circles, he was a powerhouse. He stood by Big Meech through thick and thin, only to find himself betrayed. Currently serving a 30-year prison sentence, Cuffy is now breaking his silence from behind bars. He alleges that Tammy Cowins' affair with an informant wasn't just a personal indiscretion, it was a strategic move that led to a mountain of evidence against him. Cuffy's story casts Big Meech not as a kingpin holding down his empire, but as a man willing to sacrifice his closest allies to stay on top.
So yeah, I got Cuffy right here, man, St. Louis legend. You know what I'm saying? And I know people heard me speak about Meech's paperwork situation with the last interview that we had, and a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say. They don't believe it, Blues hating. You know what I'm saying? And when I went back and I looked at everything, I was like, you know what, bro? It's only right and only one way to really do it. You good? only one way to really do it and just let Dog speak for itself. So I wanted him to call in, and this is him calling in during the interview. Go ahead, Cuff, man. You can introduce yourself and take the flow.
Hello, what's up, man?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you know, a lot of people, man, is thinking that this thing is made up or this thing is fake or that I have an axe to grind, you feel me?
Right.
But I'm in here with a 27-year sentence based on Demetrius Flannery, as you all know as Big Meech, and Tammy Cowins, known in the paperwork as CS1.
Right.
Confidential source 1. So what Big Meech did was call a third-party cooperation. So Tammy Cowins signed up to be a DEA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut, plain and simple.
Right. So
okay, so can you break down the story? Like, how do you know this? And how'd you come upon this information?
How do you know? How do you came upon this information, though?
We were rewarded what's called a Frank hearing. It's based on a case called U.S. versus Frank. So I would implore your listeners to look the case up. And what a Frank hearing entails is that you're able to cross-examine your accusers, meaning government agents, meaning informants, and so on and so forth, just like a regular trial. So this was testified in court.
Period. Point blank.
This was testified in court that I became a government informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut.
That's what was said on the stand, bro. The lady became a government informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut. But I think people would ask the question of this, though. This is what I got hit with a lot is, all right, then if he did it to get a time cut, then how come he still did all that time in jail?
Well, what they don't understand is that he never received the time cut because what came out was that she had an illicit sexual relationship with Special Agent Keith Cromer.
Special Agent Keith Cromer.
But her first DA handler was the guy, as you should know, Blue, who wrote the BMF indictment, Special Agent Jack Harvey.
Special Agent Jack Harvey is the person that locked us all up, who's also the person that locked up Terry White, which was her first case as a DEA agent. And then he retired. He retired after he got them 60 years.
Yeah, he retired, and then her handler became a brother by the name of Keith Cromer, Special Agent Keith Cromer, who was also fired behind this particular case. So Meech never received the time cut because unbeknownst to a lot of people, it's against the law to have a sexual relationship or any personal relationship with a government informant.
This how it happened. Somehow, some way, because I don't know how, she met Special Agent Jack Harvey. You could leave that up to question. How did Big Meech's personal assistant / the person that handles all this business / the person that owns BMF Entertainment to this day since 2008? So now she meets Special Agent Jack Harvey, and then she starts working for Special Agent Jack Harvey, but not for the Meech case. It was for a whole nother case first. It was for Terry White. But once that case went well, okay, and once that went past and Terry White got his 30 years, Special Agent Jack Harvey retired. But now she was ready to go do the case for Meech and help get Meech his time cut. So now when Meech came up, it was a new person that came on, and his name was, what's his name again, big homie? Special Agent Keith Cromer is the new special agent after Jack Harvey retired. Now he's her handler, and they engulfed in a personal relationship, sexual, however they called it in the court. And through that relationship, it tainted the case, and it was dishonorable at that point. They had to throw that out. That's why Meech didn't get out. So now you pose the question of why is my big homie Cuff still in jail? And go ahead, Cuff, you can let them know why, how that happened.
From that conspiracy, they indicted me on 2 murder charges. Subsequently, I pled guilty to 2 gun charges in exchange for them dropping the murder charges. Totally different, nothing to do with the conspiracy, but they falsely accused it as being a part of the conspiracy. And then they brought about the gun charges as using the gun charges in furtherance of a trafficking crime.
This call was from a federal prison.
Okay, and did they hit you with a superseding indictment or just?
They superseded me.
So they came out of that case that y'all was in court for and hit you with a whole brand new case that had nothing to do with that at all.
Didn't have nothing to do. Yeah, it still had something to do with that. They still let the drug conspiracy stand between Tammy Cowins and myself.
Oh.
And she started. That's the only way that they could continue to have jurisdiction. They had to leave the drug. They had to leave the drug charges there.
Oh, see, I thought that they said, all right, well, this case is over, but we.
Pick up murder charges or gun charges unless it's tied to something. If it's not tied to anything, then the government don't have jurisdiction. So a carjacking has to be tied to something. To have a gun charge of using a 924C, as I have, or 924J.
Oh, J.
You feel me? Discharging a firearm and furthers of a trafficking crime that results in death.
Right.
How did Meech have information on you and give it to Tammy, and how did all that come together where they were able to, you know, put
He
all
said,
that together?
how did Meech have information on you and give it to Tammy so you could get caught up in it? How did that happen? So that means you got to go back to the movie.
Okay, so, well, let me take them back. So, me and Tammy were working on the BMF movie. I originally had the script and paid for the script for the BMF movie, not the show that 50's doing on Stars. But I originally paid for the script for the BMF movie, so we were shopping the movie.
So Tammy was involved at that time, which is CS1. So the
Tammy Cowins, CS1, had all Meech's life rights.
right. And what year was that?
This all the way back in 2010.
Okay. So this.
We proved that there was a legitimate business.
Right.
Legal business.
Right.
So, well, so let's take it back. The original target was the guy by the name of Fidel Suarez. That was a Mexican cartel member out of California. He was the initial target.
Right. Fidel Suarez was the initial target out of Cali.
His name is in the paperwork.
Right. That's that.
Tammy was trying to get Suarez.
Oh, Meech and Tammy was trying to get Suarez.
Exactly. But when the government found out she was in contact with me, they switched the investigation toward me.
Bad work, man. Bad work. It's just bad work.
Exactly.
Did she help set you up or anything like that?
What's called third-party cooperation, and that's what we've been preaching because that's a dirty little secret.
He just, all right, look, did she help set you up or anything like that?
Yeah, she set me up.
Bro, I broke all that down on our last interviews, bro. Listen, all right, let me explain to you what this lady did, man. She went to the police. All right, she went on a visit or something with Meech and got a play to run. Look, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. She left from up there talking to him and went to the police and said, look, I'm supposed to go do this and go do that and do this and do that. I told y'all we finna run the play. And they gave her the phones or whatever to hook up the wiretap. They gave her the hot phones to wiretap who she was talking to. And then she started communicating with everybody on this wiretap phone, bro.
Exactly.
That's how she did it.
With Jack Harvey. Meech put her with Special Agent Jack Harvey.